A very good morning, students. In this video, we will be discussing how to write an algorithm using simple examples. So, in the last video, we have discussed what is an algorithm. So, a brief recap of that. Algorithm is a finite set of steps that fulfill a predetermined goal. It is different from a program, a process, a method, and a technique. So, a program is a finite set of computer instructions. Process is a program in execution. A method is an established way of doing something, and a technique is also a systematic and scientific method of doing something. An algorithm is different from all four of them. The algorithm is just finite set of steps for doing something. It can be mathematical in nature or it can be written in simple English language. Now the algorithm, it has a input, output, it has a finite number of steps, it is definite, that means there is no ambiguity in what it is doing, all the steps are very clear, and effective, that it is achieving for what it has been designed, and it uses the resources of the computer in an efficient manner. So the steps in writing the algorithm are, first of all, we define what is the input that we have and what are the outputs that are expected from this program. And then we define how to calculate the output from the given input, keeping in mind the constraints of the problem. So how to map the output to input, that is the main logic of the program, which a programmer needs to learn to develop. You cannot cram the logic. Cramming part is limited to syntax. You understand the syntax, learn the syntax, but logic is something which has to be understood and developed. First you have simple English steps or mathematical steps, and those are to be converted into the programming language or in a form that can be understood by the computer. So logic building is where the heart of programming or algorithm writing exists. So coming to the first example, let us calculate sum of two numbers. So what do we need here? What is the input? What is the output? And what are the steps that are needed to find the sum? So the input is the two numbers, say A and B, and the output will be the sum of these two numbers. And then what are the steps that are required? We will apply the plus operation to A and B, that is A plus B needs to be calculated. So writing this into the form of an algorithm, we get algorithm sum AB, input is AB, output is C, and C is equal to what? A plus B, which is the operation that we want to perform, and then we return the value of C as answer, and then we come to an end. Now here there are certain important keywords. The first term algorithm, it is a keyword. It is just to make it clear to the reader that this is an algorithm that he or she is reading. Then you give a descriptive name to your short descriptive name to your algorithm. This can be anything. Now these are the arguments or the inputs that are required to run this algorithm. So for that we are using A and B. And C variable, it is a local variable which is defined within this algorithm, and outside this algorithm it doesn't have an existence. And the value of C is what? The summation of A and B. And then end is used to denote the end of this algorithm. This module is this much. It can be combined with other modules to get greater functionality. Then coming to the second example, to find the largest of two numbers. In order to find the largest of two numbers, we require the input variables A and B, and output will be the larger number, which can be either A or B. And how do we find out the largest number? Using the less than symbol. So if A is less than B, then B is larger, and if B is less than A, then A is larger. So to find out this, we will write the simple algorithm larger with inputs A and B, and input is A and B, and output will be the larger number. So if A is less than B, we will say larger is equal to B, otherwise larger is equal to A. So using the if else block, we are able to solve this problem of finding the larger of two numbers. So in the last example in which we had to calculate the sum, the calculation was simple by just applying an operator. Here we are applying the operator less than. Along with it, we are also using the if else block. Coming to the third example, which is the largest of three numbers. Again, the input will be the three numbers. The output will be the largest value out of the three numbers. Now, how to apply the less than symbol to three numbers? We need nested if to do it. So, let us see how we will be doing it. So, we have the algorithm larger of 3, A, B, C, three numbers are there, and output will be the largest value. And how we calculate? If B is less than A and C is also less than A, we will say that A is the largest number. Otherwise, if A is less than B and C is less than B, then B is largest. And the third case is A is less than C and B is also less than C, then C is largest. So here we are using an if else ladder. If this is true, do this. Otherwise, if this is not true, then do this. And if this is also not true, then do this. So using the if else ladder in this algorithm, we are solving the largest of three numbers problem. And here we can also optimize that if A is not the largest, B is not the largest, then obviously C is the answer. So instead of writing this complete block, we can simply return C because that is the obvious answer. Now, algorithm 4, which is the last example for this video, we are sorting a list. So what is the input? We have list of elements. What is the output? Output will be the sorted list. And how do we sort the elements? We take the first element and compare it with all other elements one by one. And wherever we find a smaller element, we will swap the elements. So, looking at the algorithm, how do we traverse through all the elements of the list using the for loop? So here we will need two for loops. The first loop will move from 1 to n, and the second loop will work from the ith element to the nth element. Now we will compare A of I with A of j. If A of I is larger than A of j, we will swap the ith element with the jth element. So we can see that we have written this simple English statement, and this statement is converted into a non-programming language dependent description which looks like a program, which is an algorithm. So this is a high level algorithm in which we are using English statements, and this is a low level algorithm in which we are defining the steps of the individual elements, how it will be done using the programming constructs. Thank you.